It was once -8 in Glasgow, it's now 0, but it's still nippy bum time. Welcome back to Fog Football, and we're here with your Hibernian Celtic match preview. The second of a double header on Sky, of course, one of 4 games tonight. We'll cover it all in the SPFL Review show as well, with the League 1 and League 2 games that were thrown in there. But it's massive after Rangers gained 3 points and closed the gap to approximately hee-haw. Both teams sit on 58 points. Celtic, though, will be looking to pull the gap till at least next Wednesday when Rangers completely get their game back in hand against Ross County. But for now, they've got a win, and I think anything other than a win in Edinburgh could be burned to the ground.
It's not going to be good for Brendan Rodgers. He's never won at Easter Road, but you feel like he has to win tonight or else the fans will truly be on his back. They haven't really been pleased with him since he came back, although he did get a good lead against Rangers, so they kind of accepted it for what it was. But a couple of bad results and then an uneventful transfer market, and all of a sudden the pressure that had been taken off him momentarily is now back on him. And I feel that if Brendan Rodgers doesn't win tonight, the fans could truly turn on him. I mean, I know he's like kind of 50-50 at the moment, but the failure to win tonight, and it basically gives Rangers the advantage and it puts them top of the table, because Rangers game in hand is against Ross County, and I just don't see how Rangers don't pick up 3 points in that game. So for me, Celtic have to win to maintain their top spot in the table, and Brendan Rodgers never won at Easter Road, so something's got to give.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Rodgers. I think even if he sets a really bad performance and they still win 1-0, yes, Celtic fans will obviously take it, but I still think they won't be happy with that. We've seen they beat Ross County 1-0 at home, and it was bad, man, booing at full time, half time, whatever. Celtic just aren't playing good.
When you're taking on Hibs at Easter Road, as bad as Hibs are right now, the win's the most important.
No, it is. Obviously it is. But I still think there's a large portion of Celtic fans that, regardless of what happens the night, will still be fuming. I think.
Well, they will be, because they've
bear in mind,
they've
right?
give up an 8-point lead.
Say Celtic win 1-0 or 2-1. That puts the goal difference at what? 2 more than Rangers. Rangers game in hand against Ross County, as you pointed out, at Ibrox. Ross County, who just shipped 5 to Motherwell. I would kind of be shocked if Rangers didn't go and pump Ross County at least like 3-0.
I expect by this time, the Rangers play next Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Valentine's
Massacre.
I expect in 8 days' time, Rangers will be top of the league. Unless Celtic, smash Hibs tonight, like annihilate Hibs, and I just don't really see that happening.
I did predict 5-1 to be fair, but we'll get into that a wee bit later on. Nick Montgomery better sure up at the back, but let's go into a bit of the facts here and the stats going into this game, because Nick Montgomery needs all the numbers he can really get.
Last 6 games for Hibernian, no wins. I think it actually stretches further back than that. I think it's 8 games now without a win in the league, and out the last 6 league games, it's 4 defeats and 2 draws. It's just not good enough for a team of Hibs' quality and Hibs' size. Celtic, on the other hand, they had won their last 5 league games in a row until that draw against Aberdeen. So, yeah, despite them struggling a little bit, they had picked up some form since those defeats to Kilmarnock and Hearts. However, they didn't go over the line against Aberdeen, and even in that winning run of games, they weren't overly impressive. They weren't blowing teams away. They were just getting over the line, and they couldn't get over the line against Aberdeen. Can they get over the line tonight, though? That is what is going to be the big talking point here, because they need to win. We see that Rangers are just constantly getting over the line. Rangers are constantly picking up 3 points, and Celtic need to retaliate, need to do the same. Can they do it tonight? We don't know. They're still going to be without the likes of Hatate, Maida.
No, Maida's back tonight. Maida should be back.
I don't think Maida will be back.
No, Brendan Rodgers talking yesterday said Maida will be back. Atati won't, obviously he's out for 6 weeks. Carter Ficker's out for another 3 weeks. But
there's no way they're getting the Korean lads back. There's just no chance in hell.
Would they want the Korean lads back?
Well, probably not, because none of them have been that impressive. So
pumped by Jordan. They take human sunlight, but
yeah, I don't think they're going to have them back probably till maybe the Scottish Cup at the weekend. That's a more likely date for them. But even then, time they fly back, it's touch and go, but the South Koreans in the squad aren't really that good anyway, so I don't think that Celtic will be missing them. As for injuries, we'll see what happens. Will Dilly Fente come in? Will Elia Yoon come back in? We don't know. These are players that haven't really been delivering. Martin Boyle hasn't been great this season either, so
Hibs have just been bad this season. I actually rate Elia Yuhan, and obviously everyone rates Boyle, but he's been really quiet.
I'm not sure Boyle will make it back tonight. I know Australia have been knocked out, so We'll see. I think this game's probably going to be too soon for Martin Boyle, so I think they will be. And I guess Hibs have been affected by the Asian Cup as well, so
Yeah,
you've got to be fair here.
teams have been affected by the Africa Cup of Nations as well. Celtic fans wanting the league postponed for a couple of weeks because of it. Embarrassing. Like, because a couple of their players went away.
Yeah, so I don't think we'll see Boyle tonight, but I do think in terms of attacking players, probably we'll see the likes of Fenty, Johan, and maybe some of the new loan signings for Hibernian. It's a bad sign, in my opinion, when you're bringing in 7 loan players in January. I think that's just too many. It's disrupting the squad. I think it's just not a good balance bringing in 7 loan players.
Yeah, they've signed a lot, Hibs. Obviously, that new Bournemouth deal, they've signed quite a few for them, but is it going to be enough to get them over the line? Can Nick Montgomery survive another defeat? I think he can, but I think if it's a disgraceful pumping, like 3-0 against St Mirren is pretty disgraceful, I think, at home.
It is, no doubt.
Especially a
about it.
first half trio of goals.
As for Celtic, though, they are still without Greg Taylor. We have to ask the question, who's the left back going to be?
Bernabei.
It was Bernabei last time, but it might be Ralston because we just don't know because he brought Ralston on and
I
placed him.
actually think Bernabei was alright against Aberdeen. He's getting used as a scapegoat because they were shite in the second half. That's the reality there.
I think I would stick with Bernabei, but we'll see. No Carter Vickers. So
Nope.
it looks like the centre-back partnership could be Scales and Welsh. And you know what? I think Scales was great at the beginning of the season, but he wasn't a long-term option, all right? Just because he came in and he done a really good job doesn't mean that, all right, we're gonna use him going forward, right? He came in, done a good job, but you can't just rely on Scales to all of a sudden be this defender who's just as good as Carter Vickers. I think the reality is that Scales isn't good enough to be a Celtic starting centre-back. He's not a guy that you want to be taken into the Champions League. And I do think we've seen recently now that Scales is beginning not to hit the same sort of performances that he had earlier in the season. But that was to be expected. I think he was always going to drop off.
Yeah. Because he was never going to hit a full year of what he was doing.
It was naive to suggest that he could just keep up the great performances that he was putting in at the start of the season. And I just think with Scales, I'm looking at the lineup here of Hart in nets. Then you've got obviously Johnson who's not playing well, Scales and Welsh, and then either Ralston or Bernabei. I mean, that is a back 4-5 that Hibs should be looking to attack. I think there's goals to be scored against that back 4 and goalkeeper.
There is, but we've underestimated the Celtic back line so many times this season with injuries, so I'm not going to do it again, even though I think it is shite.
In midfield, I think it's likely to be McGregor, O'Reilly and Bernardo, because Bernardo, again, last 6 weeks, he's actually scored a few goals. He's came onto a game. Still not convinced he's a great player, but he's beginning to look decent, so I think he'll maintain his place in the middle of the park. And then up front, it's going to be Furuhashi, you would assume, even though Rodgers ain't getting the best out of him.
Not big Adam Adair, no.
Nah, it's going to be Furuhashi. Obviously, O's still at the Asian Cup. He won't be back till the weekend. And then either side, it's probably going to be Abada. And I'm going to assume it'll be Kuhn. I think Palmer's out injured for this one as well. So, yeah.
Could be Maida, though, I guess. Is Maida a massive miss for Celtic? I think he is. I think he adds something, not in terms of numbers, but his pressing.
Well, I would say Celtic's strongest 11 contains Maida, so...
Well, there you go, then. You obviously think he is, but he's just... Kyogo. I think it's time for him to step up for Celtic. He's done it in 2 old firms. He scored another few goals, but he has been really bad this season.
Yeah, can he do it tonight, though? That remains to be seen. The pressure's on. Celtic need to win. Will they win, though? It is time for the prediction. I'm going to go with Celtic to win 2-1. I think it will be really close. I think it'll be similar to the game last night with Rangers and Aberdeen. I just think Celtic will probably nick it in the end, though. So
I predict it 5-1 in the preview show. I'm going to stick with that. I think Nick Montgomery's going to go gun-ho and play a style that just doesn't work against the old firm and get absolutely scudded. So that's what I'm going with. I hope it's not. I hope if Celtic do win, it's like 1-0, keeps the goal difference down and leaves the door open for Rangers on Wednesday. But realistically, the way Hibs are playing, I just can't see them getting anything. Be great if they did, but I mean, it's funny, like you fought at the weekend, like Aberdeen under Robson's, like, God, you'd rather any team taking on Celtic than Aberdeen. And then Aberdeen actually perform, and now it's got to Hibs, and you're like, Jesus, Parkville Livingston or Ross County, you'd rather any team. But look at what Ross County outplayed Celtic, I think. So there's no real excuse for Hibs not to. I think so.
absolutely.
Anyway, guys, that's it for the match preview. We'll be back later on. Can't wait for Boyd and Chris Sutton round 2. Looking forward to that. But until then, peace.